All right, now that you've gone over the warm-up questions, let's talk about the notes. The first slide will be up in a moment after this video, or maybe it's hopefully up on one of the other projectors, but it's titled Navigation Acts on the Colonies. So these are laws passed by England that affect the way the colonies navigate or can trade. There's an economic theory called mercantilism, and you'll see this in your notes. I'm almost reading it to you verbatim. And they believe wealth was gained for countries by controlling trade and exporting more than you import. So you are sending out or selling more than you're buying. So other people give you money to buy things from you, but you only give them a little bit of money because you're only buying a few of their things. So that's going to make you rich because you are selling and taking in more than you are pushing out and buying. So starting in the 1650s, once the colonies had stabilized, the colonies are only allowed to trade with England and move goods on English ships. So this is going to help the North because people want to buy and build English ships. So that's a good thing. It's also going to help because the colonists will always have a market to sell their goods. They make something, it goes to England, and it gets sold. However, the catch is the colonists don't always get the best price. For example, if you are selling tobacco and you know that France will pay $10 a bushel and England will only pay $5 a bushel, who are you going to want to sell it to? Probably France, but because of these navigation acts, you can only sell them to England at the lower price. So think about how a farmer might feel in that situation. Secondly, let's say somebody in Boston wants to buy tea, and you can buy English tea for $2, or you could buy Spanish tea for $1. Which are you going to want to buy? Well, you're going to want the cheaper tea. And they couldn't always get the cheapest tea. They had to buy English tea. And that's also going to frustrate some colonists. And this idea of not having a free market to buy and sell at the best price is going to come back when we talk about the American Revolution a little bit later. So I'm going to give you a few moments to take notes on that. But our next activity, our first activity for the day, is this worksheet titled 2.7, well it says 3.4 in this version, but it'll say 2.7 by the time you get it, Economics and Trade in the Colonies. And there's one question for you. According to mercantilism, how does a nation gain wealth? And then it says, using text 2, trading across the Atlantic, and interactive map activity, triangle trade, or pages 113 and 114 in the text, complete the following steps and answer these questions. Now, the online textbook, those two assignments have been pushed to you. One of them is called Text 2, the other one's called the Interactive Map Activity for Triangle Trade. But you can just as easily use the textbook to do it. Turn to page 113, and it starts right here. So you would read down through this section, turn the page, read this part, and then this part to here, and then you'll use this map. So essentially, you're trying to make this map look more like this map with a few more details. Your instructions are: draw a compass rose west of South America, draw, color, and label West Africa, the English colonies in North America, and the West Indies. So you have three things you're going to draw, color, and label. After you have drawn those three countries, then you are going to draw the triangle trade route, and you'll get that information from the map in the textbook. Lastly, you're going to label the legs of that triangle trade. You're going to put what is the cargo or who is the cargo, and you'll get that information from the reading on page 113 and 114. So you've got to use the book to adapt and complete this map. Then there are two questions at the bottom. One, how do you think the colonists felt about not having the choice to buy goods for the best price or from the supplier they wanted, like we just discussed? And two, what was the portion of the journey called where the slaves were transported? So work on that for about 10 minutes, and then we'll talk a little bit about the activity on the back.